Hello, it's me. I was wondering after all these years that you, uh, what the, I don't know the words. Anyway, we're going over the Supreme Court TikTok versus the Attorney General of the United States of America. So, this is my second recording of this because the first time I recorded this for 5 hours, and I cannot expect everyone to sit and watch a 5 hour long video about a fucking court case. So, we're gonna go through. I'm gonna get to the points to where I made points. I'm gonna make a layman's term here in the notepad, and we will continue from there. So, the question presented in this case whether the protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act as applied to petitioners violates the First Amendment. Here's the deal. The First Amendment does not protect TikTok as a company. Straight up, 100% honest. Okay? There was an example cited in here about the Washington Post. Um, Here's the deal. The Washington Post is under the same exact response as TikTok is. There's nothing saving it from being absolved completely. Okay? The speech on TikTok and the speech on the Washington Post is protected under constitutional law. Okay? Your right to free speech is something that cannot be taken away, and it's something to be very, very aware of. Okay? It is going to come up in this video. So, let's get into it. Disclosures, I don't need any of that shit. We're going to go over both sides of the argument here, and I will give you my understanding and my take on these specific items. Okay, introduction, I don't need that. Okay. The only thing I'm looking for, statement of the case. Here we go. This is where it starts. TikTok is a unique speech platform used by 170 million Americans. True, very true. I think unique is the wrong word. There are many social media platforms similar to TikTok. I would just say TikTok is the most popular of them. TikTok Inc. is an American company that provides the TikTok platform in this country. Yes, TikTok is based and operated here in America, in California. Okay, it's got servers in Texas. Okay, or is it Texas? It's somewhere. It's got servers somewhere in the United States. Point is, one of the things that was brought to my attention was this here. ByteDance has 58% of TikTok. Okay, now this is where things get interesting, right? So we have established several things. TikTok is in America and operated slash maintained domestically. layman's terms. Yeah, I'll just put. Okay. TikTok is in America and it is operated slash maintained here in the US. Okay. It's not foreign soils, it is here in America. Okay. China owns controlling stake of TikTok at 58% of the company. Okay. Essentially saying China owns TikTok. Okay. Petitioners have worked to address the government's national security concerns. TikTok, and this is easily researchable. I'm redoing a very quick patch notes version of the video that I just recorded all fucking day today. TikTok has been compliant with government requests. Okay. So, quick recap. TikTok is an American company and operated slash maintained here. However, it is owned by China at 58%. TikTok has been compliant with government requests this entire time. Congress banned petitioners from operating TikTok in America. This is also very important. Okay. I'll just double reading here. I just want to make sure that I get this correctly. Okay. So, keep in mind, earlier we figured out China has a 58% controlling stake into TikTok. The law says, let me see, make sure you guys can see it. 20%. That is the max allowance that you get Okay. So, under these conditions, TikTok is found to be against the law under these conditions. Now, keep in mind this is a law that is garnered specifically for TikTok. Okay. So this is laying out that you either TikTok needs to change or this simply it'll just literally down here render TikTok platform inoperable in the US. Okay. So it's basically laying down, okay, here is what we have found them in violation of. This is an act that was passed. Okay. Fucking Windows updates. Right, so this right here, this is the date that we all know of, January 19th. If they are not found to be compliant by January 19th, then they are subject to be shut down and rendered inoperable in the United States. Legislators repeatedly expressed disagreement with the content on TikTok. Here is where things get interesting. So, there's going to be several points brought up into here that I've already covered in my full-length, fucking ridiculously long video. However, I'm going to do a quick rundown here. So, essentially, government, um, government scared of China. Government government finds TikTok in violation of an act passed earlier, I guess at this point last year. Okay. 01/19 of 2025. TikTok must be compliant or face shutdown in the US. Okay? We'll just put USA. Okay. Got that out of the way. Everybody understands, okay? So, government is scared of China. Government finds TikTok in violation of an act passed earlier last year. January 19, 2025 is the last day that TikTok must be compliant with these new acts passed. And if they are not, they will face shutdown. And they will no longer be able to operate in the US. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to take a little bit longer. We're going to break down a couple things real quick. Okay. Foreign adversary controlled applications can be used to collect vast amounts of data on Americans, conduct espionage campaigns, and push misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda on the American public. We talked earlier, okay? I talked earlier about the Washington Post. The Washington Post is a platform that is basically an e-paper, electronic paper. So the Washington Post, owned by China. So essentially, China Daily, an English language newspaper controlled by the Chinese Communist Party, has paid to the Washington Post and nearly $6 million to the Wall Street Journal. Okay? So we have two prominent. Okay, we have the Washington Post and the Wall Street Journal exchanging millions of dollars with the Chinese Communist Party. And they're worried about TikTok, eh? Gotcha. The Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, by the way. And then we have Temu. Temu has all your credit card information. It has your birth date, it has your phone number, it has your fucking address, it has your fucking email. Okay? It's a Chinese e-commerce company. So we're worried about who again? We're worried about TikTok. So if they wanted user data, all they had to do is get it here. Now, you can argue because it's not a social media platform, blah, 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 but the argument is user data. We don't want American data leaking to the Chinese. To collect vast amounts of data on Americans, conduct espionage campaigns, pushing misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda on the American public. Okay? So the first part was American data. We figured out that's false. There's so many Chinese companies that have large stakes into American business that if they want your data, they're going to get your data. You cannot avoid that. Okay? Secondly, misinformation, disinformation, and propaganda on the American people or the American public. Anybody remember what this app used to be called? I remember what it used to be called, but do you remember what it used to be called? Oh, that's right, it was Twitter. What happened to Twitter? Oh, it got the good old fucking ban hammer in front of the entire public for misinformation and misinformation and disinformation, okay? And propaganda. It was found in violation of all three of those. It's an American company on American soil, ran by Americans. Huh. Funny how that works. So, essentially, if you do this to TikTok, then you have to do the same to Snapchat. You have to do the same to Facebook, okay? And Instagram, I think, is owned by Facebook. Um, what other, is there anything else? Got to do it to YouTube. You got to do it to Twitch. Okay, any sort of media where a large number of people can be influenced, you have to go through and you have to cull the weak. Okay, you have to cull them out, get rid of them. Okay, because those platforms are just as susceptible as TikTok is, even without the Chinese ownership, and that's just a fact. It's just a fact. Okay, here's the deal. TikTok has not been found guilty or even been alleged to selling and pushing its own Chinese influenced propaganda. Okay, got that out of the way. It has not been found guilty. It has not even been alleged to for having done this at all. This entire court case is built off the premise that they could possibly do it in the future. Okay? So, for people who, so you get it. Okay, we'll go up just a little bit. The potential that a foreign adversary controlled application can be used to collect vast amounts of American data. Okay? This keyword potential is the one that you need to be concerned with. Okay? Okay, everybody following along. Several social media have been found to control propaganda and miss slash oops slash dis information. Facebook was already grilled about this, not to the extent that Twitter was, because Twitter was quite literally uprooted for collaborating with government agencies and silencing medical doctors during the COVID times and whatnot. So Facebook has yet to be caught, but they will be caught. And I honestly think they deserve an audit. Just absolutely just scrub through all the files, see who they've worked with and for how long, and who paid who. I believe that is absolutely something that should be done. Okay? Because if one was doing it, I guarantee the others were too. 100%. And they might even be doing it now still. Who knows? Okay? And this is no different than mainstream media. They're found guilty of mis and disinformation all the time. several lawsuits to all of them. There's not a single one of them that has been worth even fucking looking at because they're all uncredible. Okay, they're non-credible sources. Okay, so we got that figured out. So TikTok has done none of these things, and here we are. All right. So here's the next point of contention I want to bring up. Exposes children to harmful content. The government's not going to like this one. Government allowed under age kids to have I'm not going to say that, parts removed. The government allowed that to happen. They could have shut it down anytime, but they allowed it to happen. Okay? Plain and simple. We're going to be honest. We're going to be honest here when reviewing all the evidence that needs to be reviewed. Okay? So you care about exposing children to harmful content. Government. Right, we're talking about exposing children to harmful content. Government also allowed drag shows with sexually explicit themes. Okay? I wish I was done. I wish I was done. Unfortunately, I'm not, though. So, one thing I am very good at is remembering to take advantage of certain situations. So this
childbirth gore, medical procedures. Wait, there's suicide videos? Why JJ and Mikey hanged themselves? Bro, this is for kids? What the fuck?
You get it now? All of that I just showed you was on YouTube Kids. So, government not regulating any other form of media. Okay? Now, I will preface this. There was partly a case where they did gruel Facebook about some sort of stuff, something about bullying or something like that, online bullying on the Facebook platform. So they did do something, at least for that. But anytime you see it brought up like that, it's just it's just a show. All it is, it's a show. It leads to nothing. Um, but it just brings it to attention. It's pretty much all it's doing. So, government does not regulate other forms of media. Okay? So, we've established that as well. TikTok videos will be promoting that Taiwan ought to be part of China. This was actually very recent, but you can't even say Free Taiwan in Marvel Strike. Okay? They are explicitly not allowing you to say that in Marvel Strike. However, on TikTok, pull up my TikTok here real quick. The argument is that they will argue that let's see, where's the search thing at? Okay. Let's look up. We're gonna look up for free Taiwan videos. Okay, escalation continues between Taiwan and China. So we got some news coverage. Looks like some sort of so they're not censoring out free Taiwan videos. Look at that. Look at all these videos about visiting Taiwan. Okay. So there we can conclude Taiwan is promoted on TikTok. Let's see if the opposite is true. China. What do they say? Let me see specifically. Will promote videos where Taiwan ought to be part of China. Okay. Taiwan should be part of China. The scholar rebuke, stop interfering in Taiwan's affairs. Taiwan is part of China and has nothing to do with, okay. So we have US scholars saying stop interfering with Taiwan's affairs. It is part of China. So US scholars. Okay, no.
Stop going after China and Taiwan. It's not our goddamn business. Taiwan is part of China. We agreed to it in countless communiques when we made diplomatic relations.
So we have people in the U.S.
Now, what many people
We have some major breaking news right now. Xi Jinping, China's president,
towards reunification.
the United States
In his New Year's speech on Tuesday,
Okay.
I think I understand China.
Very simple.
There's a lot of bollocks. I don't think there's one major developing nation that recognizes Taiwan. Taiwan.
Please stand for the anthem of Chinese Taipei.
Remember Taiwan.
The government of the
Okay. So,
We begin with
relations between China and Taiwan have gotten really tense.
we figured out that it has videos of both promoting and it has videos discussing Taiwan as part of China. And the most notable one is the one of a U.S. scholar saying that Taiwan is part of China. So, if you're going to say TikTok is guilty of this, when you have your own people in your own country saying, and these are people that apparently can garner an audience because that scholar had a bit of an audience there. Taiwan is promoted on TikTok. It is also, this is found to be true, that they do have videos discussing Taiwan as part of China. Okay. So now we're clear on that. We can agree. Okay. Let's continue. Striking to what degree narratives are resonating. Testified that it was striking to what degree the narratives on TikTok are resonating with young people. So this one's pretty easy. TikTok is for younger people. Okay. Attention span is low for young people. Short form content favorable for young people. Okay. Government old and stupid. Okay, we got that clear. Everybody understand that now. Let's keep going. Showed dramatic differences in content relative to other social media platforms. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Seems to me that the same discussions are happening on X. Huh. I don't have Facebook on here, so we can't check that, but looks like to me social media. we're gonna do it. To be thorough, I'm gonna pull it up on Facebook. Look it up there too. China owns Taiwan. Oh, would you look at that? So the exact same fucking thing on Facebook. What you search is what you get. Wow, who would have thought? It's kind of how social media works. Social media results are the same. So, dramatic differences? I think not. Same fucking results. If you look at the posting... Wait, hold on. We got another one ahead of that. Such overwhelming support for us to shut down, potentially, TikTok. Overwhelming support? Nobody has been in support of a TikTok... Nobody has been in support of a TikTok shutdown. Nobody. Everyone has spoken out against it. There are very few people who are on your side about this. If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so. We just found out that what you search for is what you get. Okay? Now, earlier, I might patch in this clip. I might not patch in the clip. I probably just won't because editing sucks. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to TikTok. Earlier, on TikTok, I searched and interacted with several videos after looking up Palestine and looking up Palestinians. So my algorithm, based on how it works on TikTok, and this was hours ago at this point, should show me those results reflected in my For You page. Okay? As we can see right there, For You, I'm going to hit it again to make sure that it is a proper For You page. Okay?
You know what I like to do?
You've probably been...
Want to see Arthur Morgan?
Hey, so what's the reason?
Batman.
I'm a hero.
Don't.
This was hours ago.
I'm Cooks. You deserve.
I have a mom.
Do you want?
First on the list.
Do you want to work?
Nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
Popular American YouTuber. Can
Went
you...
back.
She has no idea.
Another YouTuber getting arrested. Big fucking surprise there. Huh. That's interesting. So no Palestinian stuff showing up on my For You page, even though I searched, I interacted, and I fucking scrolled through quite a few videos. Nothing. So they're not even promoting it. So that's funny. But I'm sure if I searched it, I would get stuff about Palestine again. And I'm sure if I searched it on another platform, I would get stuff about Palestine. Duh. Oh, okay. Proceedings below. Petitioners filed suit in DC court. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what else? Recommendation algorithm. Wait, hold on. Let's get that full statement here. That China may covertly manipulate the application's recommendation algorithm to shape the content. Okay? So their argument is that they will shape the algorithm to the content that China wants to share. Well, it's funny you say that because the US has already done that several times. Who would we go back to? Here it is. Let's let's see. Several social media have been found to control propaganda and mis and disinformation. Interesting. Kinda implying the fact that they pushed a certain agenda that did not suit the American people to both cause mis and disinformation. Okay? That's a point that we purposely covered earlier for that very reason. Okay? We're gonna go back here now. We're gonna look at this again. Recommendation algorithm to shape content. Okay? The algorithm shapes content based on what you, as the user, interact with. Okay? That's why if you go to my if we scroll through my TikTok, I will pull it up again. That way everybody has a visual. Okay? Anime shit. Okay? Gaming shit. Okay? More gaming shit. Okay? Anime shit again. Anime again. Anime again. PC stuff, because I'm always looking at PC stuff. Fuck you, Intel, by the way. Not part of this video. This, I don't even know. Oh, anime shit. Yep. Here we go. Anime. Oh, there we go. Cosplay stuff. Anime. Uh, I, I don't know what this is. Some sort of singing. Anime. Paisana. Okay, I think it's pretty solid. Nice. Fucking nice, by the way. Anyway. Pretty obvious that the algorithm is built upon what you, the user, find and interact with, okay? So, it hasn't done anything. And this is why words matter in this case. The government advanced 2 justifications. The Act's TikTok specific provision that China may covertly. China may. Okay? So they haven't done anything, but they may in the future. So essentially, what they're saying is they haven't done anything yet, but they may in the future. So their argument is that government says China may push videos that promote an agenda damaging the American public. Okay. Now that we're clear on what the government is afraid China is going to do, I also want to bring up that if I get sued the same way, actually, I'm not even going to put that down. Essentially, here's what I'm going to say. Suing them in this degree with this statement is the same as somebody suing me because I have the possibility of killing them in the future. I could kill them 5 years from now. Let's throw him in jail now. Is essentially what they're saying with this argument. Throw it in the fucking trash. Okay? Worthless. Worthless argument. Obtain access to user data. We already covered this. There's so many ways. Plethora. Is that how you spell that? Plethora of ways China may access American data. Another thing I want to bring up. Government leaks all social security numbers. This was a story that was brought up. It's been a little bit now. A major breach of an estimated 2.9 billion records has been revealed as part of a Floridian case action complaint. The hacking group USDOD sourced the massive database and infiltrated the national public data. So, you want us to worry about our data going to China? They already fucking have it. Everywhere in the world has 2.9 billion records. You think that got scrubbed? That didn't get scrubbed. You think that data's gone? We're fucked. We're already fucked, okay? 2.9 billion records gone. Okay? How many billions of records is gone? Oh. How many people live in the US? Oh. Huh. Funny. 2.9 billion records. 333 million people in the US as of 2022. Okay? We're a couple years old now. Okay? Right here, 2025, 347 million. Look at that. So, with that many records gone, already all of your information is out there. If you ever been on Temu, if you ever bought a Chevy or a GMC, if you ever went to AMC theaters, if you ever got a GE appliance, all of that information China already has. It's already gone. It's already out there. So, as of right now, TikTok has not leaked any data. Okay? I want that to be very clear. The justice system abides by one strict rule. Okay? Innocent until proven guilty. Everything that has been pushed against TikTok is all allegation and possibility. It has not happened and probably will not happen because they have been more than compliant with anything the government has asked of them thus far. Okay. Summary of argument. I don't need to see that. The argument's pretty clear. As I said before, the First Amendment does not absolve TikTok as a company from being dealt with the way it is being dealt with. It does, however, protect the speech that is on the platform. That being said, there is some rules that are abided by on the platform. Policy in place on that platform. Okay? And you can't tell me that the government is not still regulating TikTok. You guys remember this individual? Story time. A long time ago, A long time ago, when all this court stuff was going on with him, and shit was brought against him, okay? He was banned on all social. Here it is, right back down here. Hold on, where'd it go? There we go. Andrew Tate charged with rape and human trafficking. Okay? This was all over social media. Okay? He was unanimously banned on every single social media platform at the same time. One, free speech. So that is a clear violation of free speech. If people want to get on any platform and they want to say Andrew Tate was innocent, then they have every right to do so. Maybe not in other countries, but here in the US, that is certainly the case. That is why we have free speech. Okay? Andrew Tate, I don't know what became of his case. I at this point, I don't remember it. Romanian court blocks case from going to trial. Okay, so it looks like he might have been absolved of this. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. But that's not the point. The point is that I spoke up about this and I said he was innocent until proven guilty. The same rule applies in a U.S. court as far as this goes. And I was still spreading what I thought were good messages. Okay? None of it was aimed any sort of direction. This is on my old TikTok account that is banned. Okay? So TikTok has acted in censorship in compliance with U.S. government and any other fucking government that has told them that they need to have said person removed from their platform. My account got banned for posting about Andrew Tate because there was literally, if you posted anything about Andrew Tate, nuked immediately. It was deleted off the platform, and if you kept doing it, your account got banned. I kept doing it because free speech is free speech. I don't give a fuck where your company is or where it's based out of. If you operate in the U.S., you abide by U.S. Constitution. Okay? Straight up. I don't give a fuck. Okay? If you don't like it, don't put your platform here. Okay? Straight up. You either abide by free speech or you get the fuck out. Okay? I want to make that very, very clear. The Constitution is the only thing that matters. So, TikTok has acted in conjunction with anything the U.S. has wanted them to act in conjunction with. Okay? Good. I like it. Solid. That means TikTok is doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing. The Act's TikTok specific provision is subject to strict scrutiny. The Act severely burdens the expression of TikTok Inc., an American company protected by the First Amendment. The American company is not protected by the First Amendment. This has got to stop, okay? TikTok, as a platform, is not protected by the First Amendment. To my understanding, this is the case, okay? And we can even go a step further. First Amendment. And I will probably cut this down. First Amendment in detail. Yeah, actually, I'll probably just add a timestamp. I'll add a timestamp to skip past this part. I'll Hold on. First Amendment guarantees freedoms concerning religion, expression, assembly, and the right to petition. Okay. So, let's scroll a little bit here, just see if there's anything else that might. Okay. Freedom of the press. I thought that was a different one. Maybe it is looped in, I guess. But everything here has nothing to do with TikTok as a company. So, TikTok as a platform is not protected by the First Amendment. Let's get that straight. Now, content on the TikTok platform is protected under the First Amendment. Okay. Now that we're clear on that, I gotta try to speed this up. We're already an hour in. Okay. So, content on the TikTok platform is protected under the First Amendment. We are clear on that. Okay. The government concedes, as it must, that the curation of content on TikTok is a form of speech. Yes, the curation of content on TikTok is correct, that it is a form of speech and therefore protected under the freedom of speech here in America. We have established that already. Okay, explaining. This is okay. What the fuck? Expressive activity includes presenting a curated compilation of speech originally created by others. Editorial function itself is an aspect of speech. Yes, deciding on a third-party speech that will be included or excluded from a compilation, and then organizing and presenting the included items is expressive activity. True. TikTok combines multifarious voices to create a distinct expressive offering. Content moderation, enforcing public availability rules and standards. It also performs content recommendation, disseminating videos through its For You feed, employing an algorithm to match users with content they are predicted to like. Predicted is the wrong... I mean, I guess it still sort of applies, but the algorithm only follows what you provide the algorithm. So predicted is a wrong choice of word, in my opinion. I think meet consumer demand is probably the better way to word that, as the platform is only going to recommend what you watch and engage with. Okay. TikTok's algorithm is insanely good at feeding you what you want, not giving you what you don't want. It promotes and filters select content to foster diverse and high quality content. Yes. Exactly what I was saying. The government also does not dispute facts suggesting at least some of the regulated speech involves TikTok's U.S. entities. TikTok is a California corporation providing the U.S. platform through U.S. employees, subsidiaries, and contractors. It develops and oversees content moderation policies. We already established this, but here we go. TikTok is run and, well, it's operated, maintained, and managed in the US of A. So they're worried about China pushing shit onto TikTok. It's like they forgot that the NSA exists for this very reason. It protects user data from being misused, which is a funny fucking job they're goddamn doing on that. Because they're too busy fucking, I guess, not doing their job, because our data has been misused more times than I can count. And it had nothing to do with TikTok. It's kind of sad. The next thing is just add another fucking third party. Just add it. So if you don't want direct communication between TikTok and its parent company, throw in a fucking middleman. They go through, they scum through everything. Okay, it's clear. Give it to TikTok. TikTok can then implement it into its app. Easy peasy solve. Okay, nobody has to sell anything. You can now manage it so you can see if there is any sort of manipulation between the two parties. Sounds like an easy solve to me. Fuck, I could do that. Shit. What do I could just go through and fucking scum through the data a little bit. Okay. Looks like they're doing an update. Okay. How's this going to change the algorithm? Okay. Apply it to some sort of like TikTok beta where I can see what's going on, and then send it over to TikTok. After TikTok has it, I can then test it on a proper TikTok account once it is opened up, and then fucking, oh, okay, that matches what my version is telling me. Perfect. No problems. And if it's found in violation, well, guess what? Well, you can scrub TikTok from existence, and you can sue them for massive amounts of money, because they would be found in violation with proof of manipulating the algorithm to serve some sort of Chinese purpose, I guess. But the only thing I see about China on there is the fact that they focus on making engineers, and we focus on making femboys. Yeah, that's about it. And I also saw that there were certain states that were letting drag shows go on. There were certain states that were chopping up our children. Yeah, I think I'm okay with TikTok's algorithm. I think I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. TikTok is a domestic entity operating. Yeah. Okay. We already covered the First Amendment shit. Again, they're talking about you can't do this because of some shit that's not happened yet, essentially. Congress cannot deem the choice constitutionally unprotected by deciding this cost outweighs the algorithm's value. this is a weird wording. So the algorithm itself is like highly questioned in this, which I'm not really seeing. I don't see any reason why the algorithm should be in question until it is found to be used in such a manner as Twitter was, as Facebook currently is. Okay. Suppose, for example, Congress tried to force Jeff Bezos to sell the Washington Post based on fears that foreign governments might use their power over his foreign business interests to pressure him to alter the newspaper's content. Again, this falls into innocent until proven guilty. Congress absolutely can make him sell the Washington Post if there is reason to do so. If there is reasonable accusations that lead to reasonable evidence. Congress is pretty much arguing that they can enforce these things, even though there has been nothing that has happened. I would disagree. I say if you are going to bring this to an act of court, to an act of essentially suing the company to try to enforce some law, you have to have reasonable evidence, okay? The whole innocent until proven guilty shit, okay? Because the data isn't the first thing that is going to be done, right? Because like the user data, they already have user data. Okay, let's be 100% clear. Let's be 100% truthful about this. Almost every country has United States user data. If you've bought anything from that country, they have your data. Done. Australia probably has your data if you bought anything from Australia. If you bought anything from the UK, they got your data as well. China, Russia, any of them. If you imported anything from another country, they have your data. It is there. Okay? It doesn't just evaporate. It doesn't disappear. So, and if the algorithm is manipulated, it's very easy to fucking test that. It's so easy. Huh? All you have to do is make a fucking account and scroll. Oh. Looks like January 17th, 2027, a fresh TikTok account was made, and it is pushing that China is better than the US on a rather consistent basis. There's your evidence. Okay, they're pushing Chinese is better than the US propaganda on their platform. Wow. Then you can fucking shut it down. There's your evidence. But to say that they've essentially done nothing wrong, but they could potentially do something wrong in the future, and that's the whole basis of your claim, is based on nothing. It's based on nothing that is tangible, nothing, no evidence provided. I don't. I guess I'm trying to find any sort of merit to this. What? The government suggested that because TikTok is wholly owned by ByteDance, a foreign company, it has no First Amendment rights. I think TikTok is like the only app to where I've been able to say what I want to say, and I'm not getting instantly ban-hammered or fucking a comment gets deleted or whatever the fuck, unless it has been found in violation of their policy that they have for anyone to read. So this is the biggest fallacy I've ever fucking seen in my life, the biggest fake news I've ever seen in my life, because the government has been active in doing this. They've been in collaboration with Google doing this. They have been trying to strip us of our First Amendment rights since as far back as I fucking can remember, okay? Especially with the election. With the election, they tried so hard. Every fucking popular mainstream media platform has been sued at one point or another for mis- or disinformation, pushing agendas on American people. And you are correct that there is systems in place in China that do censor and do certain things, but here in the US, we are protected under the First Amendment. So, if they censor us here in the US, you can then find them in violation of the First Amendment. Then you can act accordingly. But you haven't done that. You haven't found any sort of violations. And as I said before, if you are operating in the US, you abide by the US Constitution. If you don't fucking like it, stay in your own piece of shit country, okay? I don't give a fuck, okay? Don't give a fuck. You come here, you abide by our laws, okay? You come here and you want to run a business here, great. You abide by our labor laws, okay? 100%. Doesn't fucking matter, bro. You want to come here, manufacture shit, then export it, good. Well, you're going to abide by our laws while you're doing it. Okay? Straight up. So, this is a complete fallacy. TikTok is a domestic entity that operates domestically, creating content for the US platform. No reason why TikTok loses the First Amendment rights because it has a foreign parent. The government invoked. So, as far as I know, the NSA is literally in place to protect our data from getting fucked up and sent over and us being exposed, right? And as far as I know, earlier in this passage, they did say that the NSA stopped communicating with TikTok. So that basically tells me the NSA refused to do their job. So I think we just fire the NSA from the top down and we just repurpose everybody. They can go be baristas or something. And then we can just put new people in place. The government argued this case does not implicate the First Amendment. Okay. Inc. Rejected. What? So, what is happening? I'm going to let you guys go ahead and pause. Go ahead and pause and read this, okay? I'm going to move myself out of the way. This is our federal government, by the way. So go ahead and pause, read this. Okay. We're going to talk about the third one. Oop. Shit. All right, we're going to talk about the third one. Third one is actually a bit more interesting, at least. All right, so the second reasoning, clearly bullshit. Third, the government invocation of intermediate scrutiny under U.S. O'Brien likewise fails. A government's concern with content manipulation itself references the content of TikTok's speech. So here's the part where you lose me, government. You have no right to impede on anything that us as users express on the platform of TikTok. Freedom of speech is literally the cornerstone of America. It is what makes us what we are. Okay? So, O'Brien applies only where expressive activity is regulated for reasons unrelated to the suppression of free expression. Okay? Yet, as the panel majority observed, the government's concern with content manipulation itself references the content of TikTok speech. Anything on the TikTok platform that is considered speech cannot be suppressed at all. It thus is related to suppressing expression, namely overriding TikTok editorial choice that the recommendation engine is the best content dissemination method because of fear of China may manipulate the algorithm to shape the content that American users receive. Again, TikTok's algorithm. TikTok only shows what the user, this is important, user engages and watches on their probably wrong their their platform. This has been a long day. Give me a break, all right? I'm trying to finish this up. We're already almost at an hour and a half on this fucking thing. Okay? But this is important. People need to know. Okay? TikTok only shows what the user engages and watches on their platform. That is how their algorithm works. That is how it has always worked. Okay? You can literally test this by giving certain videos watch time, likes, getting into the comment section on those videos. You will get results based off what you interact, engage, and watch. Okay? That is how it works. If it is manipulated, you will clearly see when it is manipulated, because if they force feed you videos that you do not as a user interact with, then it's a clear violation. It's clear as day that they are trying to manipulate you, which is why they can't do it. They cannot force feed you anything because of how the algorithm works. So the US is coming at these guys with baseless claims again. Oh, let me look at the last bit of this just to make sure. Yep. And the US government cannot and will not, well, I won't say will not because they fucking try it all the time, but they cannot censor your speech and they cannot censor your expression. That is different than social media apps enacting certain rules, okay? So if a social media app rules state that you cannot express violence onto another person, then that's it. That's their rules. You simply stop using their platform if that's what you do not like, okay? Straight up. Okay, they do have the right to govern their platform in a certain way, okay? So if they were to tomorrow, if I don't know, let's say if Facebook said you're not allowed to use the word man in anything tomorrow, and they put that in their terms of service, well then you don't fucking have a choice. That is their rule. It is their platform. They can do what they see fit with that platform, right? You as an individual have the right to simply stop supporting said platform. But the government does not have the right to change certain speech. Essentially, it can oversee the platform itself, but it can't oversee what you as an individual say. Okay, that is protected under the Constitution. Okay. Now, this brings me back to the final point I want to make on this topic, and that is the fact that if China wants to push Chinese influence on Americans, they absolutely can. But if the US has laws restricting such a thing, then the US can find TikTok liable for such a thing. In that instance, TikTok would be found guilty, evidence provided, and then we can put this all to bed. But coming in with baseless allegations and basically saying that, oh, you could influence Americans at some point in time in the future is not a case that can stand in a court of law on any level. So that's pretty much it. There's nothing else really to go over. So finally, we're at the end of this video. At least I was able to shorten it down quite a lot, because in the first video, it's like fucking 5 hours long because I went through every little nook and cranny of this bitch. So, yeah, essentially, the case is baseless and government stupid. Okay. All right. So, final part of this. We're going to do a very, very quick rundown of the patch notes. I will probably post this separately. So if you're watching this right now, hello. Make sure you subscribe to me, subscribe to yourself most importantly, okay? Self-love is important these days. So we're going to do a quick rundown. Okay, we went over the Supreme Court briefing on the TikTok situation. Okay, TikTok is an American, it is in America and operated / maintained here on our soil. China owns controlling stake of TikTok at 58%. TikTok has been compliant with government requests. Okay? Government scared of China. Government finds TikTok in violation of an act passed earlier last year. 1/1925, TikTok must be compliant or face shutdown in the USA. So essentially, China has a much higher controlling stake than what is currently allowed thanks to the act passed by the US, which allows for 20%. So they essentially have to sell off 38% of what they have to be compliant with those laws, or Congress votes again and overturns said law, um, forcing, TikTok being what it is. TikTok has not been found guilty or even been alleged to selling and pushing its own Chinese influenced propaganda. So both data and propaganda and any sort of manipulation behind the algorithm has not been proven, has barely been alleged. Several social media have been found to control propaganda and mis and disinformation. This includes all your news networks, all your social media, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, fucking whatever you like to use, YouTube, Twitch. Government allowed underage kids to have sexual parts removed. This was on a point to where they said that they want to protect minors because they can be exposed to harmful content. Yet they allowed this to happen. Oh, also, the government also allowed drag shows with sexually explicit themes. They also allowed this to happen. Oh, wait. Government not regulating any other forms of media. Haha, that's funny. That's when I showed, you can go check it out in the video if you want, but this is when I showed the YouTube Kids, where they have very, very dark and terrible content being shown to children on the daily, with 30 plus million views. Taiwan is promoted on the TikTok. This was on a point where they said that it would promote that Taiwan is part of China. Taiwan is promoted on TikTok as an independent country to go and visit, and many other things. It also did show that there was discussion about Taiwan being part of China, one namely discussion by a U.S. scholar saying that Taiwan has always been part of China and blah blah blah, we need to stay out of their affairs and whatever. TikTok is for younger people. This was at a point where they were like, no, this TikTok is too popular with young kids. No fucking shit. Okay, the attention span is low for young people, which is why it is popular among younger people. Short form content favorable for young people. Yeah, that's the whole point. The government is old and stupid. You can't even tell me I'm wrong. Like fucking 3 of them were in the hospital a few weeks ago because they had strokes and shit. Heart attacks. Barely alive. Fuck's sake. Search up Bernie Sanders. Social media results are the same. If I look up anything on any social media, the results are the same. Nothing is exclusive or over promoted on any platform. Government says China may push videos that promote an agenda damaging the American public. The government is guilty of promoting damaging content to the American public. In case anybody forgot about COVID-19, that was a thing. Hashtag fucking end of Twitter. This was a very important time here in the U.S. Yeah, but the key word here is may. May push. They haven't pushed shit, and they won't push shit because they can't. Because that's not how the algorithm works. You would know that if you weren't a fucking boomer, okay? Plethora of ways China may access American data. This was another point of contention. They said that American data would be at risk. Considering that China has a controlling stake in fucking 99% of the companies that operate here in the US, they always have access to our data at any point in time. Namely, some other like AMC, General Motors, what else? Pretty much Temu. If you bought anything off Temu, your shit is over in China now. Enjoy that. Anytime you get anything from overseas through a Chinese company, that data is now in their possession. And I also cited the fact that the government allowed a massive leak of our data, like 2.9 billion files of our data, our personal data, social security, birthdays, fucking addresses, fucking phone numbers, all that leaked. Massive leak. It was all over the news. Okay, but social security numbers is the important one. This is the one that your entire identity is tied to. Okay, so you can't fucking call out China when you're the biggest problem. Okay, innocent until proven guilty. Okay, like I said, nothing has been brought as evidence against TikTok in this case. It is all barely alleged. TikTok as a platform is not protected by the First Amendment. TikTok is trying to argue that their platform is protected by the First Amendment. It is not. Your company has no First Amendment rights. The content on TikTok is protected. Any form of speech is protected under the Constitution of freedom of speech. It also is protected under the freedom of expression, okay? Those are very specific freedoms in the US for very specific reasons. Their argument was that China does not have those same freedoms. That is true. However, it doesn't fucking matter because they're operating in the US. When you operate in the US, you have no choice but to abide by US Constitution. TikTok is operated, maintained, and managed in the US. This is a point that came up again, but it was earlier. I just kind of threw it up there. Now it's a very, very specific that it is literally a United States owned, well, not owned, but operated business. Okay, all the way through from its staff all the way up to the higher ups. It is all here in California. Okay, TikTok only shows what the user engages and watches on their platform. This is very, very need to know because this is how the algorithm works. The case is baseless and the government is stupid. Obviously, we knew the government was stupid. We also know the government is untrustworthy. So that's the biggest point here is you really got to look at it and you got to say, what rights are we going to lose? Because anytime the government pulls a case like this, when it has to do with speech or anything like that, you have to very, very closely analyze it. So this was a short version of what I recorded earlier today. So you will not see that video. I mean, maybe I'll post it just to post it, but I went through everything on that previous video. Maybe I'll condense it down or something and I'll release that video as well. But this one is a much more streamlined and progress based fucking video of that one. Because the first one I just rambled for so fucking long and I pulled up different sites, different sources, all that shit. I kind of did that here, but I tried to condense it a little bit more. So yeah, hour and 40 minute long video discussing the case. So without further ado, that is going to be it for me. So make sure you subscribe to me, subscribe to you, most importantly. Self-love is important these days, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be it for this video. So I very much appreciate you, and I appreciate anyone who takes the time to sit through this very long video. It's good to be informed. Like I said, this is going to be a separate video, so if you want to watch the longer form video, go ahead and do that. But, you know, that's going to be it for me. So I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye-bye.